Okay. Good evening. Welcome everyone to Township Council Workshop, Monday, November 13th, 2023. This meeting is now called to order. Please all rise to salute to the flag. Councilwoman Hablitz, lead us in the salute, please.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. Mrs. DiPiero, can you please read the statement of public notice?
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. A notice of the meeting was promptly posted in the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on January 5th, 2023. A copy of the notice was mailed to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk on said date. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on our Township website at www.lfnj.com. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you. Ms. DiPiero, at this time, please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel, Councilmember Murphy,
Present.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Present.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Present.
Council President Scopa.
Present. Mayor Damiano, the floor is yours.
Oh, it's right.
Perfect. Thank you. This evening, I have two proclamations that I'm going to read this evening. And the first is an Epilepsy Awareness Month proclamation. We have joining us this evening a friend and a resident here in town, Valerie Sarcona, who is on the Epilepsy Foundation. And I'm going to ask her to join me in the front of the room as I read the Epilepsy Awareness Month proclamation. And it reads, whereas epilepsy is a neurological condition characterized by recurrent unprovoked seizures, and whereas epilepsy and seizures affect 3 million people across the United States, including many children and adults in the state of New Jersey diagnosed with recurring seizures. And whereas epilepsy can affect anyone no matter what their gender, race, age, religion, education, background, or socioeconomic status. And whereas epilepsy is the third most common neurological disorder among adults in the United States, behind Alzheimer's disease and stroke. And whereas 10% of the American population will experience a seizure in their lifetime, 3% will develop epilepsy by age 75. And whereas while epilepsy cannot currently be cured, many of those diagnosed with epilepsy can control their seizures with modern medicine and surgical techniques. And whereas people with epilepsy continue to face social stigmatization and discrimination. And whereas National Epilepsy Awareness Month is designed to increase the awareness of the disorder and in an effort to encourage more Americans to understand the effects of epilepsy. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor James Belford Damiano, on behalf of the Township Council, do hereby proclaim November 2023 as Epilepsy Awareness Month in the Township of Little Falls. And I want to thank you for joining us here this evening. I want to provide you with this proclamation for you guys, all right? Thank you for coming. All right, and we have a second proclamation to read this evening. And it's the Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month proclamation. And it reads, whereas during the month of November, National Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month focuses on making the general public aware of the disease among the U.S. population. And whereas Alzheimer's disease, AD, also referred to simply as Alzheimer's, is a chronic neurodegenerative disease that affects approximately 1 in every 2 families in the U.S., with 5.7 million Americans being diagnosed. And whereas Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia, a general term for memory loss and other cognitive abilities serious enough to interfere with daily life, worsens over time, accounting for 60 to 80% of dementia cases. And whereas every 65 seconds, someone in the United States develops Alzheimer's disease, and by 2050, an estimated 14 million Americans will have Alzheimer's. And whereas the greatest known risk factor is increasing age, and the majority of people with Alzheimer's are 65 and older. And whereas Alzheimer's is not just a disease of old age, approximately 200,000 Americans under the age of 65 have younger onset Alzheimer's disease, also known as early onset Alzheimer's. And whereas Alzheimer's is the 5th leading cause of death for adults age 65 and older, and the 7th leading cause of death for all adults. And whereas Alzheimer's has no current cure, but treatments for symptoms are available and research continues. Today, there is a worldwide effort to find better ways to treat the disease, delay its onset, and prevent it from developing. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor James Belford Damiano, on behalf of the Little Falls Township Council, do hereby proclaim November 2023 as Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month in the Township of Little Falls. Council President, that wraps up the proclamations this evening, and I will discuss the other items this evening under my report.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll move forward. Have a motion to open the meeting for public and general matters and agenda items. Moved by Councilwoman Hablitz, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? This motion carries. Mrs. DiPiero, please read the statement of public comment.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide a comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to regular order of business.
Thank you. The floor is now open. Mr. Kusia, no one in the chat I see. Is there anyone in our council chambers that'd like to come before us? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilman Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries. Mayor Damiano.
Thank you, Council President. This evening, before I get into the items on my report and items to be discussed, I do want to comment and thank our DPW for doing an incredible job on our downtown streetscape, including our banners for all of our heroes, which I know we'll hear more about this evening. But the wreaths have really made our downtown more festive. And I know there are a lot of comments on several sources of social media of people claiming it's too early to start decorating for the holidays, but I feel that there's no such thing. There's no such thing as too early to decorate for the holidays. Get everybody in the holiday spirit, hopefully a little more love and peace in the air through Little Falls. With that, I am very excited to announce that on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, which is a large reason why we have gotten such a jump on the holiday decorations, the Holiday Light Parade will be making its way down Main Street here in Little Falls, starting at Passaic Valley High School, making its way down Main Street towards Maple Street, turning on Maple Street and heading down Patterson Ave past our Little Falls Recreation Center, where we'll be hosting quite an evening and event there for anyone who wants to join. Of course, anywhere along the parade route is an acceptable place to be, but please know that the roads will be closed at 4 p.m. that day. If you are inside what will be the parade route, you are going to be stuck inside the parade route. If you are stuck outside of where the parade route will be, you will be stuck outside of where the parade route is. And we do anticipate that it will be several hours that the closures will exist. So please be careful and be wary of where you are if you do not want to be stuck on the inside of the parade route. Again, that would really consist of anywhere from Broward Town Road down to Patterson Ave, Maple Ave area, down to McBride Ave as it heads its way in. And that's anything between Broward Town and Patterson Ave on what would be the north side of Main Street. So everybody just, again, be conscientious of that, because once those roadways are closed down, they will be closed down for good. I'm also very excited to announce that the municipality has just been made aware within the past week or so that we have received another $644,000 grant from the DOT to continue our streetscape. So we actually currently have, all of which came in fairly recently, 4 additional grants from various funding sources to continue our streetscape, which will include Union Ave up to Main Street, so that it will have some connectivity to our train station. We also have Stevens Ave from Main Street all the way up to Walnut. We also have now Main Street, and this is 2 grants from where we left off at Maple all the way up to the Peckman Bridge where the old laundry building is. So we will be completing our streetscape to that entire stretch, hopefully within the next handful of months. And hopefully for the next holiday season, we'll have wreaths up on all of those new light poles just as early. So that is the hopes for that section of town there. Now that we are through that, I just want to, and last but not least, we have also ordered to add to the festiveness of the downtown holiday banners. And the holiday banners will be coming in shortly. They will be added to all of the decorative light poles that we have, like you may have seen in several other municipalities. So we are excited to keep the holiday spirit going here in Little Falls and look forward to that addition once they arrive. With that, I'm going to move on to the items on the items for discussion. And the first is a resolution authorizing the affordability assistance grant with renters of affordable housing units. And as I've stated numerous times in the past, this is something that this council will see, for the next handful of years, especially more so over the next handful of months as these units are rented for the first time. And it just provides these new renters with some affordability assistance. Next is the resolution authorizing the purchase of rock salt under the Morris County Co-op. This is also something that we see annually around this time as we join various co-ops and as we authorize the purchase of various materials, this one in particular, salt for the winter. And Morris County Co-op has provided us with one of the most competitive prices for salt in the past handful of years. We've continued that and are renewing that this year. And the last is ordinance 1474 for cannabis. It is updating the fees associated with applications for cannabis here in Little Falls. And it is essentially increasing some of the costs and fees to be more in line with other surrounding municipalities. Are there any questions from the council regarding any of these items?
Mayor, on the rock salt, in the past, the township worked out a deal with the county that the county trucks would pick up the rock salt from Little Falls, so they would have to go back to their yards and lose time, which makes our streets safer. Is that deal, is that agreement still in place for this coming season?
Yeah, so I will reaffirm that because there is a new county administrator and ensure that he remembers this deal. That has nothing to do with the actual purchasing of the rock salt like this co-op will permit. But yes, what we've done with the county in the past is allow them to refill their county trucks right here in Little Falls at our DPW yard. And what they've done is, if we know and anticipate there's going to be a very big storm, what they'll oftentimes do is bring 2 or 3 loads worth of salt, drop it off at the DPW yard ahead of time. If not, what they'll do is if they use salt from our DPW yard here in Little Falls, they will replenish it after the storm. And what this does is it allows the trucks to remain in Little Falls. And after salting Francisco Ave and Long Hill Road and all the other county roads, rather than having to go all the way back to their county depot to fill up, they're able to just stay right here in town. Our bucket loader fills them up and they're right back on the street, salting and plowing. So it definitely helps keep our roadways safer. It kills a lot of downtime where they'd oftentimes spend a half hour, 45 minutes out of town just to refill on rock salt. We're here, it's a 30-second trip and they're back on the roads, keeping us safe. So I will remind the new county administrator of that agreement that we entered into a handful of years ago and tell them that that is still absolutely an option for their county trucks.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, Ms. DiPiero, please read ordinance 1474. Where am I? Oh, I'm sorry. Can I have a motion? I skipped over. I apologize. Can I have a motion to approve resolutions A through E?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Hablitz. Call the roll for the resolutions A through E.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz,
yes,
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, Ms. DiPiero, now read ordinance 1474.
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 1474. An ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending the code of the Township of Little Falls Administration of Government, Section 33, cannabis.
Thank you. Mr. Kusia, there's no one in the chat that would like to talk on 1474. Is there anyone in our council chambers who would like to come before us and talk about 1474? Seeing none, we'll close the meeting. Close the public hearing on 1474. Have a motion to adopt 1474. Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilwoman Havelitz. This is a roll call to adopt 1474. Mrs. DiPiero, please call the roll.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Havelitz?
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Councilman Murphy, would you like to lead us off here?
Thank you, Council President. Just two quick updates. Last Monday, myself and Councilwoman Havelitz had met with our Assistant BA in Squadron, along with the printing company and our rec department. And we had our first meeting, and we finally have a first rough draft in for the calendar, and it's coming along quite nicely, actually, I must say. And so I just want to thank everybody for their hard work in this, especially Mr. Quadrone and Councilman Blitz and the rec department. Everyone has really been working hard, and it's good to see this finally coming along. Last Friday, myself, Council President, had a meeting with Chief Brawl on creating an ordinance for mass gatherings here in Little Falls. And the intent of this ordinance really is to ensure the safety for both those attending the events as well as Little Falls residents, and ensuring that adequate resources are available, whether it be EMS or PD. And so I know that Council President and I will be working with the rest of the council members as well as Chief Prawl, and I'm sure Council Wenzel at some point to get this ordinance up and running. And I hope we could have that up and running sometime in the new year. That's all I have, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you. A question on the calendar. How are they going to get to our residents?
So it's going to be mailed out to every door in Little Falls. With every door in business will receive a calendar. Because we are waiting on some of the dates that we won't have until the new year, such as our council meetings, and I know the school board meetings, they have to get approved. So it's going to be sent out, we're hoping, in the first, second, or third week of January. And what we're going to do is do 13 months. And so the calendar will have January of 25 in it. And so this way, once we're up and running, years coming, they'll be able, residents will be able to see that January and 25 in there. They'll receive it, the new calendar that next year. And this way it'll be a steady flow of months covered for the residents.
Thank you. Through the floor, Councilman Vanchery.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Councilman Murphy, have you thought about too having it digital? Because you know what's gonna happen. You drop it off to everyone. You're gonna.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, so we did discuss that. So I think they're going to drop off a bunch of extra copies to town hall. Should we have new residents or somebody, for whatever reason doesn't get one? And then I believe we're going to have a PDF of that as well. So I'm sure we could reach out to Scott, see if he could throw it on our website, and also have a rough draft of it on our website.
You know, there's always a trend where.
I'm sure.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on. Councilwoman Havelitz.
Thank you, Council President. Just some library updates. First, I'd like to thank the library for some very wonderful events that they've put on lately. Most recently for Diwali, they had a story time and craft, as well as a viewing of the private home movies of Joan Crawford, Part 2. It was hosted by her grandson and very well attended. Two great events that they had. Some upcoming events tomorrow night. They're going to continue with their New York speaker series at 7 p.m. Whispers of the Past, the Evolution of New York. And next Monday, they're going to have the second meeting of our garden club, which is going to be on Monday, the 20th at 6:30 p.m. It's for all ages, all levels of experience. They're going to eventually have guest speakers, discuss techniques and more. The garden club. Also, speaking of the garden club, I would like to thank them, the Little Falls library staff, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and of course, our wonderful DPW for the job of planting our daffodils all over town. The town received a grant of 5,000 daffodils and 10 new trees. And we had all of that help planting around town. So come spring, it will be beautiful with daffodils and our new trees growing all over town. I'd like to thank City Green for giving us the grant, and also Ann Kawadi and Linda Bellin for helping with the grant and helping facilitate all of this. That's all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Havelitz. Councilman Vanchery.
Thanks, Council President. Just a few updates from me. Over the weekend, everybody that's up here on the dais, as well as Mayor Damiano, had a chance to attend the annual Veterans Day services led by American Legion Post 108. A big thank you to Post Commander Herb Brickta for leading that event, as well as, of course, the great volunteers from the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. While there too, I got to give some kudos to the gentleman on my right here, it was a great opportunity for Mayor Damiano to talk about the new program that's been led by Council President. I know he's going to talk into, and just driving around and seeing all the banners hanging up of those fallen is really a nice thing for this town. I really appreciate the work that you and the committee have been doing. That's nice to see. And it was great to see other residents that were there saying, hey, I'd love to do this as well for my grandfather or my dad, or, I have a relative that's in there. So it looks like more to come. So it's definitely something to look forward to, like we have with the Christmas decorations, but those banners mean a hell of a lot more. So thank you for that. Just in terms of the Transportation Committee, we had a meeting last week. We were talking about a few things, and thanks to Chief Kroll for being there, as well as Officer Pinola. We have a couple updates we're working through with the folks that live on Houston, just in terms of the locations of the speed humps. We're hoping to finalize that soon. We had some requests that came in, and our engineer is working on it. And, our engineer is also looking at other streets in town that may have the potential for future speed humps. So he's looking into that and is going to provide us a report in the coming weeks. That's it for me, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Vanchery. As mentioned about our Hometown Hero banner program, yes, we put up 29 banners of individuals that were killed in action. For those that we did not have photographs of, you'll see a silhouette. However, if we do come across a photograph, we will gladly replace those banners with that individual's picture. 3 of those individuals, one of them was a Medal of Honor, which we're great honored. You'll see his banner by the Union Avenue Bridge, which the Union Avenue Bridge is named after him, Franklin Ziegler. He's a Medal of Honor. It was great to see his banner go up near the bridge. There was 2 individuals that had silver stars that we also put their banners up, Nicholas Marchezian and Howard Ferguson. I do want to thank Susan Jones, Kim Cubano, Vince Cordrone, and the DPW staff, along with Joey Pugliese, who worked with us to get this program to happen. The second phase of the program will be those that were discharged and retired from the services. Those banners will go up in the spring as those applications come through. Chief, you have anything you'd like to bring forward to us tonight?
I'll just be brief. I'm still waiting to hear back from the NHTSA for our end of year holiday crackdown, our DWI enforcement grant that we applied for. And we'll say that we will have increased DWI patrols leading up to the holidays, regardless whether we receive the grant or not. On the DWI enforcement front, just wanted, come to the council. It's just preliminary, but DWI enforcement is up across the department for this year. And that's, due in no short part to the effort of the officers. So I just wanted to let you know. I'm a little grayer in the face than I used to be, but this isn't intentional. The PBA and the police department are participating in the No Shave November campaign. For November, we'll donate the proceeds to a family impacted by cancer, and then we're going to continue it through December, and that'll go towards the police department's unit towards it. So.
Thank you, Chief. The council, the mayor appreciate your hard work. Our neighboring town of Cedar Grove is very well known for DWI pullovers. Is that the correct word? Pullovers or stops? Stops. Looks like we're closing in on that, which is great. Having someone being pulled over or stopped with DWI is not only protecting that individual, but it's protecting others, that people forget what can happen if that individual continues to drive intoxicated. So thank you for those great efforts. Can I have a motion to open the meeting to the public and agenda items? Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Hablitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries. Ms. DiPiero.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President.
No.
Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide a comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide a comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the chat that'd like to speak to us? Is there anyone in the council chambers that'd like to come before us? Can I have a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Councilor Wenzel, anything for this governing body?
Nothing for tonight except excuse my lack of necktie
Okay.
or bow tie.
Yeah,
I'll have to achieve better next time.
yeah, we do have a policy, an unwritten policy. Have a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman
Second.
Vanchery, second by Councilwoman Havertz. All those in favor of adjourning the meetings do so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed do so by saying nay. This meeting is now adjourned.